delicious cookies and yummy honey cakes. Welcoming you back to crypto's juiciest news. Bitcoin, friends, sitting around $95,000. I am going to just get to the most important news of today. Tai Lopez just came out and called for $250,000 Bitcoin. I'm not making it up. That exact number. And it's by the end of next year. Okay, so we'll get to that. This is the Bitcoin price chart, friends. We are looking at this. We're lower high. We're going down to zero. No. How far does the chart go? No. Well, look, we are still in November, friends, and December comes. You got to remember as well, man. Friends, if you remember, the average return for Bitcoin for Q4 was like a plus 50%. Remember that? And if we start Q4, which is here, October, and we do that plus 50%, it's about 105K. I remember that number, about $105,000. So we're like right on track. And no one's really worried anymore because you can kind of feel that this monthly price action that's moved up is going to deserve some pumpy G music because now it's undeniable at this point. 4-year cycle continues to repeat. I know, man, it's just wild. Like, how does Tai Lopez impact that? Oh, friends, you just look. We're going to hold, okay? We're going to hold. And just, I'll spoil it a bit for you. If he's calling for 250, it's possible we only get 150 or like 350, okay? It's also, it is a bit concerning about him knowing the exact 4-year cycle, but everyone knows a 4-year cycle. So we have to, like, you know, just be careful about that. It's not like we're going to get fudded out. But it is possible that the crowd front runs it. It is. But do you want to take that chance, though? I think, I'm going to be honest, it'll be easier if, say, PulseChain still hasn't pumped. It would be easier because you're holding a strong community. You're holding the strongest neo-religion in crypto. And you know you're going to be all right. You know what I mean? Like, you know you're riding and dying with these, riding and or dying, right? With everyone here, and everything's gonna be all right. You know that. That's if it hasn't pumped. So, but what's the thing? What's a pump? Is 10x a pump? Okay, 10x brings us to around Hex's evaluation back from September 2021. So technically, it can be a double top. But I wouldn't be too concerned about that because if we got that, friends, if we got that, the next bear market drop wouldn't be as bad. It would do what XRP and Tron did. So it doesn't drop 99%. It drops around 80 to 85. The worst point. It's around 80% drop. I know that sucks, but and you're gonna have to think about that. I'm just planning for these worst case scenarios just in case. But next we have the Bitcoin dominance, friends. Bitcoin dominance. Remember, it's a weekly chart. If Ethereum is going to do, remember, friends, I'm calling famously now. Your friend Sommi, they got to put me on that Coin Telegraph thing. I always read like these soy boys and not soy boys, a couple of people that make on this Coin Telegraph. They're like trader analyst calls for big move in crypto. They should put mine. Your friend Sommi calls for a flash 40% move in Ethereum, a flash 40% pump. If that happens, friends, we just probably see this like finally confirm it down. That would be wild. Once we have that, everyone knows pretty much. Like, oh, it's because it's a ratio. That's what Bitcoin dominance is. It's a ratio. It's like, oh, so much money has now finally like left Bitcoin and started to rotate out, despite all the Bitcoin maxis saying it wouldn't. The Russell 2000 once again is still like grinding along the highs, but it's pretty good, friends. Like, you're near the highs. You know, stock market, they do a bit of these ticky up and down fake outs. Very important as well. Oh, friends, look at the others BTC. Have a look at you. Look at you go, you good thing. This is, friends, it's like, this is nice. This is nice. Like, it's just still green. It's still green. Because every day you wake up, friends, you don't know what's going to happen. It's because of Ethereum and all these other things moving. But if we finally flip it green, oh man, it's going to be good. Remember, this is the ratio of pure altcoins to Bitcoin. It's the actual real Bitcoin altcoin season measure, right? So what's everyone else use, friends? Everyone uses this this Altseason Index, which you'll see here. It's got like the gradient color that you've seen it. And remember, how's this calculated? So all it does is if your coin goes up 2% and Bitcoin goes up 1%, it gives you a point. You're like, oh, you're in the winning category now. But then also if Bitcoin drops 2% and your coin drops down 99%, it goes, oh, you've lost for that period. But then in the next period, if you go up 2% and Bitcoin goes up 1, doesn't matter, you're still down. You know what I mean? But that's why it oscillates here. But also it's climbing up. So it does like the top 100 coins. And yeah, 64 out of the top 100 coins are actually outperforming Bitcoin. But they go, for how long? That's the most important part. Of course, that's what we're all getting for. There were these periods of time where there's alt seasons. Look at this. There was an alt season January 2024. Did you feel it? No, you didn't, because it actually peaked in March, which is right here. But why was March moving here? Why did it do this lower high thing? It's because the altcoins, it was actually meme coins that went the hardest. You see? So you get to see how... It's important to understand these, right? Yes, and you shouldn't really like focus on these too much. It's like using the fear and greed index. But it's important to know why these things are different and why they matter. Because this one, friends, if you're looking at this others BTC ratio and looking at the fractals here, running for 100 days, yes. Remember, the first 50 days are bear market floor stuff. The next 50 days is where the big euphoria happens. I know it doesn't... They're like, 100 days doesn't sound like long. Yeah, man, that's crypto. That's why everyone rushes in at the same time. That's why you don't have forever when this happens. The monthly candle is still looking fantastic for us. Look, friends, what happened as well was, well, this one was 7. You never know. Maybe we get 7 again. Maybe we get 7 again, and then we just go sideways for like 6 months, and then we get like, I don't know, like 5. That'd be amazing, man. That'd be amazing. But once again, the prices. Let's go back to the big news as well. Also, friends, Ethereum is still starting to recover. That's important too. Ethereum, you can see it from the Bitcoin dominance because BTC is pretty much inverse Ethereum. Also, I'll just pay attention to this now. If you're on Twitter, or even on like watching other YouTubers, Soylana people, they're really complacent now. You can see that. You can feel Ethereum's coming. You know it's coming for them, all right? But they're still laughing at it. See, here's the thing, friends, but they were laughing at it here. They were still laughing at Ethereum here and here and here and here. So they're like, oh, this hasn't changed. But you can see something now. You can see Ethereum's fighting back even when Bitcoin dumps. So like eventually, but look how low the price is. Like, duh, golly gee, eventually you're gonna find the bottom, right? But they refuse to leave. You get it? And like if you want to see how does this all play out, what I can do, friends, this is a Soylana ETH ratio. I'm gonna show you something, okay? This is really important, friends. A lot of people, they see indicators and they go, oh, buy on the blue, on the buy and sell on the red. Yeah, but look at this, man. For example, if you were to wait for Soylana ETH to flip red in the last bull market, look, it flipped red in May 2022. So you are down 62% from the top already. You've lost your ETH value. Okay, you see that? And maybe you have to sell it here. You see how it's not so nice because you're like, wait a minute, I'm selling when I'm down 50% from the top. Yeah, that's crypto. If you're fading stuff, extremes, you have the risk that you're just totally wrong because there's no trend to confirm it. Okay, but but like, you know, you can get extreme prices that could be good, or you could just get it totally wrong, right? Like imagine you started selling like up here. You see what I mean? Even though you come back, imagine you start selling your Sol. When you're selling this, you're selling into Sol and you're getting into ETH, okay, when you're selling it. So if you're selling here, friends, look at this. It comes back to exactly your point. But look at this. You don't feel too good up here, do you? Because look what ends up happening. Like you could have an extra 2.6 times your Ethereum value. So if you had 100 ETH, you sold your Soylana, you got 100 ETH. Yeah, at the top, you'd have 260 ETH value because you're just sitting there calculating it. That's actually what happens, people. Even though it comes back to the same price, you see? So technically, this could be the top. It could be the top, but you don't know. So obviously, no one has given it any probability this is the top. No one, you've seen it. Everybody out here, friends. Once again, we are not trying to offend everybody. We're just trying to catch everybody like friends. But it's just true. No one thinks that Sol ETH is top whatsoever. And has a top? I don't know. But there's an FTX unlock coming here. Ethereum's coming back. And also, man, this thing has run for a long time. My gosh. 672 days it ran in a row here. My gosh. How much did it run? How much was it green from here, friends? It was green for 441 days. Can you believe it? So Sol has been in an uptrend, technically, against ETH on the weekly for 50% longer than last bull market. That's why, friends, it was like a unicorn. It was 1 out of 100 that happened to you. But look at this. If you want to finally flip red, so if you're watching, friends, so for example, like Ivan uses like, you know, his indicators pretty much just like this one. You don't have to worry too much about like indicators and stuff, friends. But if he's going to flip red, once it flips red on a weekly, Look what happens. He has to come and confirm here. He has to finish off the week here. And then look how much you're down. You're down 34%. You see? So are you going to be okay to take that 30%? Now, 34% actually isn't bad if you can get it. But I'm just showing you, like, following trends, like the thing has to move so far in the other direction for you to get in. Like, there are people here, maybe you have 100 ETH at the top. Now your value is only 70 ETH down here. Are you going to get out? So a lot of people, they're going to be cold and mechanical out here, but, you know, they're also too scared of psyching themselves out. That's why you just get to see when things go on for so long, people don't want to leave. They're just too scared of, like, not even scared. They're just like, no, I can't be right, or I can't be wrong, right? They're fixated on one view. Now, getting to the most important news of the day, friends. Urgent emergency. Tai Lopez calls for a 250K Bitcoin in Q4 next year. No! So it's actually true, friends. Here he is. My prediction is $250,000 approximately gets touched around the end of 2025 or even into 2026. So, man. Here, look at Bitcoin flushing the old out. Man, yeah. By the way, when he appeared in 2017, I remember when he appeared because I was watching YouTube and he started talking about it, and it was the top. It was like December 2017 towards January 2018. Yeah, so if you know, that was Bitcoin 17 at 20K. So he hasn't appeared yet. You know what I mean? He hasn't like really appeared to like have a product or to sell something or do something. I think he was trying to shill some. Of course, he was trying to shill stuff. Of course, like it's like the world's biggest grifter at this point, right? So, we might get 150K. We might get 350. I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say 350, but let's just wait for the timing, because what we learned is, I sat here, friends. We all knew the cycle, but it still played out. Bitcoin bottomed exactly when it was meant to bottom with the FTX bottom. Everything played out exactly the same timing-wise. So fading the 4-year cycle has been a widowmaker so far. Like, still, because it goes off the global liquidity cycle. That's why. It's the 4-year debt rollover of the government. Why? Because they have to print money to pay over the next credit card debt. And when they print money, that is our Bitcoin halving. It times up with that. And then we run for the whole year because they printed a lot of money. It takes like 12 to 18 months to spend. That's funny, friends. So they printed this year, yeah. Then they spent 12 to 18 months. That literally lands us towards the end of next year, right? So somewhere after the Bitcoin halving, the mid to the end of the year, that's when they finally exhausted, and then they've run out by 2026. You see, so that's why it happens like that. Is it going to happen again? I mean, like the 4-year debt roller, friends, that has to happen no matter what, unless it's like, that's why. So if we know this, why don't all the Bitcoin maxis, why don't they sell their Bitcoin? It's because one of these days, you know, when everyone expects a bear market, they're going to have to print a lot of money because they're going to have to move to the new system. One day. We don't know when. That's what Bitcoiners are scared of. That's why they're like, I'm not going to hold your trash, your fiat, because I know what happens. I know it's a ticking time bomb. You just don't know when the bomb's going to explode. Okay, but we saw from zombie virus, if there's a crisis, there's probably a liquidity event first. Probably. Okay, so, and there's at least a knee jerk. So I don't think, it's not like you're going to wake up tomorrow, oh, Bitcoin tripled. They act like that's going to happen. No. I think there'll be fear and uncertainty in the markets. I think people will sell off stuff first because they'll have to wait for the government and the economists to go in the back office and calculate how much money they got to print. You get what I mean? So you don't know how much they're going to print. It's not like them, like that's why, friends, Bitcoins, they're playing for the world where when the market goes down, stock market, Bitcoin's actually rallying. That's what they're playing for, that world. That world is definitely not here yet. We're more like a tech stock. Now, because you're a baby doll munchkin, yes, it is concerning that Tai Lopez is calling for 250. It is concerning. But, okay, but, hey, man, we can stop 150. We can stop at like 350. Look at that. Why not up here? See, he's calling for this middle zone. Look, just friends, just by the nature of markets, I'm just saying, they're underperforming. Okay? They are usually underperforming. So, if the crowd's average target, remember, friends, I remember that the crowd's average target used to be 120. Yeah, now it's 250. Okay, it's interesting, yeah? It's about 200 to 250. I remember that because it was covering, remember I had dark prophecy stuff. So, because I knew that number. Remember, it was 120, and I said, guys, okay, since everyone's is 120, I guess what we're leaning towards is 80 or 240. It's either below it, 50% below, or probably 2x above, okay? But now the crowd's average target is 220. So, what happens when we get there, right? I guess we'll see. But I still think friends, I don't know what. I'm just feeling it in the universe. I think this is an altcoin cycle. I feel it's a double bubble, so I feel it. It might, yeah. I just like Donald Trump's a living meme. He has an Ethereum DeFi project, man, and he did NFTs. And Elon Musk is a meme lord with Doge. You know, like I don't know why I feel it in my bones. Like that's how it's gonna play out. But we do have a lot of FOMO, and it's good. Japan company with a stock, MetaPlanet, plans to raise $62 million to buy more Bitcoin. So, friends, there's more companies coming out and announcing, I want to hop on the Bitcoin train. It's kind of funny, man. All the Bitcoin maxis, they've been saying this literally since when I was learning about Bitcoin end of 2018. They were saying this. And of course, I believed it. I'm like, hey, these guys are smart. I'm listening to Eric Voorhees and Andreas Antonopoulos. That's what I discovered back then at Da Vinci J15. They were saying it, and they're right. It's just amazing, man. These people are right, man. They really are visions. Also makes you think about Richard Hart's PulseChain, liquidity bonding, Hart's law stuff. So they're right. It takes a while for these things to play out. Because these visionaries are right, you and I, naturally we think, oh, they said something's going to happen, but you get too excited with the time frame. You think it's going to happen a lot closer than it is. Like, you forget these people, they hit really long distances, right? You're watching like a marathon runner. You're like, you change your TV. Hey, this guy's a really good runner. And you're like, oh, bro, he's got like another 18 hours to finish the race. You know what I mean? I'm going to go crack on with the boys and come back. You know what I mean? So that's what it's like when you're watching these visionaries. But you have to be on board. If you're on board, you win. It's just that, you know, can you stay on? I mean, it actually is a marathon, not a sprint. Hong Kong, friends, and I've given Hong Kong a USA flag. Hong Kong plans to cut taxes on crypto. So they're starting with hedge funds and crypto equity, which is great. You see how Donald Trump coming in, Donald Trump's pro-crypto, all the ETFs are in, all the world governments just start to copy. That's what we want to see. The European Federation of Journalists, which is literally, friends, there's a gathering, there's 320,000 soy boys. They have quit Twitter, and they've announced to everybody, hi, we're quitting Twitter, guys. Yeah, we don't want anything to do with Twitter anymore. And they're whinging, they're crying. They said there's disinformation concerns and collusion by Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Now, disinformation, friends, you got to be careful. Everyone out there in the world, governments, they're trying to sneak in every public government bill, especially in Australia, man. It's like disgusting. They throw in the word disinformation. Disinformation can literally be anything, friends. It can be interpreted in infinite ways, and it gives them infinite power. So disinformation, this is the sad part. Disinformation can be what you say and what you don't say. Okay, so for example, if I say I'm going to go eat a donut, okay, government might lock you up and go, disinformation. You didn't tell your friend Sommi that eating a donut is unhealthy. Therefore, by not saying anything, like you're throwing out disinformation their way, like to obfuscate and confuse him. You know what I mean? So that gives them infinite power later on, and that's why these cucks what do you mean, bro? You guys are the disinformation people. So no one believes these people. These cucks can go on an island somewhere. Maybe go hang out in that weird that owl god island that Alex Jones basically revealed. So also, friends, PulseChain ecosystem started igniting. Okay, so pDAI hits 2.5 cents. And if I can get to the chart, I will, friends. There's been, just to let everyone know. So there's a chart. You know what? I've got to find it for you. Okay, so friends, because I really do love and appreciate you, and you and I mogging all the non-believers, mogging all of them. Okay, what I'm about to show you, I have to spend some time to explain to you what the hell's going on. Okay, first I'm going to show you the chart. Do you see this chart? This is pDAI to pHEX. Okay, it's pDAI to pHEX. Do you see how this chart, friends? It literally, check this out. Like, it was basically, this was the weird, this is the PulseChain, basically the LOPEN, the low liquidity launch. Look what ends up happening. Obviously, pDAI sank hard. You can see this part. You see this sinking part? It goes all the way down. pDAI was worth 36 hex at the bottom. pDAI has now gone up. Now it's only worth 1. Okay, it's not the absolute, but I'm just showing you the ratio here. Okay, so now it's worth 1. I want you to pay attention to this. Do you see how the volatility got less and less and less? It is now tighter and tighter. So look, friends, you got to remember, like, I'm not making content for other people. Like, I'm making content for me. And what I want to hear is what I think. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to say, oh, there may or may not be, or there's no evidence for this. Bro, just go do some news anchor reporting about how that guy doesn't have the pointiest elbows in the Western Hemisphere and he's lying to everybody. You go and do your job over there. My job, I guess, okay? I guess and I speculate. So you understand me, friends. That's why you're my friend. I catch you with the Pokeball every single day. Catching other friends too. I believe Richard Hart is doing this, all right? That's me. Am I a retard? I'm wearing a bull hat on the internet. Moo! Moo! So yes, I think Richard Hart's doing that. I don't think that's a coincidence. That it just coincidentally pegging. Oh, the pegging memes are coming, by the way. I don't think it's a coincidence. It pegs to 1. You see this value? 1. So what does that mean? pDAI and pHEX, which is pHEX, the people's hex, okay? They're bonding to 1. You get it? They're now Hart's Law. Do you remember Hart's Law? And we joke and call it Fart's Law? Well, now it's actually Hart's Law. Okay, it's still called Fart's Law to me. I like it. It's funny. Fart's Law. Okay, we're going to fight our way to $1. We're literally going away up there. Okay, by the way, Andre's going to clip that. Okay, so they're both 2.5 cents. So it seems like what's happening is Richard is bonding everything together and then everything's going to drag up. And pDAI gets to $1 with everything else. Okay, so just showing you now. Okay, always had the pegging. We have a big shark here. Ooh, shark, swim in the water, pointy nose. Okay, now, both are 2.5 cents. So you probably want to know, okay, Sommi, do we have at least any evidence of something like this remotely happening? Yes. Now, friends, literally the PulseChain, the PulseX Explorer, it is so dog shit. I'm not joking, yesterday, you know, I waited at my computer like a retard for 15 minutes. The info page couldn't load on the info page of PulseX for the block Explorer to gap info. So maybe it's just shit by design. I have a feeling Richard left it shit by design. So it's harder to like front run all the information about what's going on. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a spook. I feel like that's it. Okay, that's what I feel like. Anyway, pDAI, friends, is linking to the people's Bitcoin, pWBTC. It's actually, what's been happening is mysterious players out there, probably, that's what I'm interpreting them as Richard Hart, okay? They are bonding pDAI and the people's Bitcoin, pWBTC. So you can see it on pWBTC chart. It literally hit $2,000 just before, friends. Remember this, I was covering it at $100. Now, Richard Hart tweeted 100. Yeah, I was covering at, no, less than $100, friends. I was covering at $50 to $70. Wow, man. Yeah, I started buying more. Made my videos here, $500-600. I was like, dude, this, yeah, we see it now. We see it, everything. Okay, so look, they're all going to pick. Now I'm going to show you the pWBTC to pDAI ratio. You see that? You see this, friends? So this is hovering. It's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. Okay, its value is 78,000. Perhaps it's going to just go up and peg towards, maybe it'll peg towards pDAI eventually. Or perhaps it'll serve as like a hedge. If pDAI dumps, this thing goes up. Because if pDAI dumps is like a big non-believer in it who's just selling it, for example. So they're actually bonding, friends. And the liquidity page, I've got some other posts here. So the liquidity page, friends, of PulseX, it shows you that the people's Bitcoin and people's DAI, their liquidity has been adding and they're getting tighter over time. I think something like a third, like 33% of the liquidity of the people's Bitcoin is pDAI. So they're moving closer and closer. Like, oh, I wonder who could be doing that, guys. I wonder who could be doing that. By the way, Richard's got 40,000 pWBTC, and there's only 150,000 there. So we already know he's already got a third. He's probably got even more than that. Just showing you, okay? That's pretty much it. Now, coincidentally, as this happens yesterday and today, as this is happening, Richard Hart does a very suspicious tweet, which almost basically points the finger to you. And he says, oh, you're on the right path. Continue. All right? That's how I interpret it, okay? That's how I interpret it. Now I'm going to show you his post. He literally made a post here. PulseX. Interesting. So he has 4 pictures here, friends. He shows yield farms. He shows the liquidity page. He shows the liquidity charts of coins rising up. Okay? So I got to repeat to you again. He shows the bonding of the farms. Hint, hint. Then he shows the info page of, he's got stable coins. By the way, this you can see the stable coins here in the liquidity, right? So showing liquidity stats rising, which is all the bonding. So just hint, he's basically saying, hey, look at Hart's Law. Look at these farms. The liquidity is actually rising up right now. And he's actually showing the charts down here. He's showing you it's going up. PulseX info, liquidity. See that? I think there might be V1 and V2 or whatever. I'm not sure. Okay, probably is V1 and V2, but you see they're going up. They're going up. So see, friends, but look, but what's going up? It's not. He's not going to bond like like a random poopy coin with his stuff. There's specific stuff he's doing. He's pressing buttons pretty much. That's what the equivalent is. The on-chain equivalent of just pressing different buttons. Okay. And I also hinted he could also be pointing to a future farm event. So liquidity is going up. Things are bonded. It just makes you think, I wonder what else could be bonded. That's why, friends, just to let you know. Okay, what else? Tell us the answer, Sommi. Well, yeah, friends, I've got videos coming out as well later. Always got videos for you. But eventually, the whole end game, what's the end game, friends? The end game is we got to get all the US dollars from Ethereum and the rest of the world to come play on PulseX. So if pDAI is there as a stable coin, it will advertise to like the $100 billion floating out there in stable coins. Come and bridge in and bond with eDAI. So we might see a pDAI eDAI bridge. He doesn't need to directly do it, but it would make sense for him to directly do it. Just wake up one day and you have that. Now, maybe that's post-peg. Okay, I feel like that's a post-peg thing. Okay, but also I've got to think about this though. If he does it now, he accelerates the peg and people front run him. But he might not think that it's time for it yet. Okay, he probably that's right. It's up to him. He might have decided, no, I'm not going to put the pDAI farm yet because it makes it too obvious what I'm doing. I'm letting all the people front run and like people who are believers. I'm letting all the believers get in. By the way, friends, some people have asked me, Sommi, where do you get that? You know, the pHEX and pDAI chart I just showed you thing. Unfortunately, Dex Screener is still broken. Man, isn't this sad? Like, dude, the one time we need yous, the one time you flops, okay? We literally broke your system. You still haven't fixed it. This is so critical for everyone to learn. And everyone literally is in the middle of just FOMO buying this so they can understand. It's kind of sucks. But luckily for you, friends, I manually construct this stuff when I can. And I do the inverse. I try to find tricks around the system that can still display the price. So what I actually did for you, I showed you the inverse of the thing and then I inverted the chart. Okay, so I had to invert the chart just to show you what was actually going on. Because if you do it the other way, it just looks like something's sinking. But for this way, I've just shown you, oh, pDAI is actually rising. It rose to pHEX and they're bonding together, okay? Now, this is the pDAI chart, as you're getting to see. Maybe, I'm just guessing, friends, maybe Richard will only put an pDAI farm here. I don't know. Maybe this thing goes like this. It pops up to like 20 cents. And he's like, you know what? Here's your free money. You know what I mean? Maybe. I'm just guessing. Some people believe we're just going to wake up one day and we're pegged. But there's a process, friends. There's a lot of things, man. There is a proposal. There's the MakerDAO proposal. It ends on December 6th. So in the next 7 days, the origin address, Richard Hart, man. Richard, he used different wallets, but we know it's him. But you can't say it's him, maybe for legal authority reasons, okay? But we know it's him. Like, hey, how did you get 18 trillion pulse? Golly gee, you had to sacrifice an infinite amount. We know it's him, okay? We know it's him. So I'm just speculating it's him. He has all the maker tokens to finalize the vote, okay? So the community's asked the origin address to be able to use Richard Hart's core coins, PulseX, Hex, and Ink. Oh, no, Ink. So use them for collateral in a vault. That will allow pDAI and the Oracle to say it's now $1, okay, and to begin the next phase. So in the next 7 days, it's going to vote. So knowing Richard, probably he's full of suspense. He'll probably do it on the last day, in like the last hour. He'll probably do it last day, last 6 hours or whatever. And it's either going to be acceptance or rejected, okay? Now, decentralized me and other people believe Richard's not cruel and they think he's going to accept it. Now that you're seeing the prophecy and everything, 2.5 cents is too low. You know what I mean? Like, if he was going to screw with people, I feel it's too low, dude. I feel like if you're going to screw with people, do it at like 50 cents, right? But even then, screw with people, would he do that? It seems to all be going to plan. So how would he screw people? He can reject the proposal. If he does, you wake up, pDAI is down 85%. Bank. If he rejects the proposal. Because everyone's like, oh, you're not going to use pDAI for that. It's all a scam. That's everyone. But if he accepts the proposal, we get closer to $1. How much closer? I don't know. But just letting everyone in PulseChain know, if you see pDAI shoot up hard, like next week, this could be. Also, could it be buy the rumor, sell the news? I don't think really, because this is more of a, people haven't really understood what's going on. Okay, because they have to watch my videos to kind of figure out things are going on. Not everybody has capitulated and stuff in. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, look how close it is. This is a 3-day chart. Okay, this is a 3-day chart, friends. We might find, the 3-day candle here. It's possible, man. This thing is like 10 cents. This thing is 10 cents. See, a lot of people, even in pDAI Telegram, they're like, bro, like, we know we're going to $1, but that's a big move. No, Habib. Okay, like, markets are smart, okay? Every action he's done 11 actions, okay? Plus 11, there's been 11, okay? This would be the 12th big action to tell you this thing's going to $1, okay? So they've already got 11. Now you're adding number 12, and this thing's becoming like really, really, really obvious. You see what I mean? Like, it's like, it's becoming very clear, right? As clear as these pointy elbows, friends. So people have to start pricing this shit. I told you 1 cent was the FOMO level. I FOMO'd more. 1 cent's the FOMO level, like last chance, and you got to see why. So, man, this is extreme. This is really, really fascinating if it really works out, because it's a decentralized stablecoin. We start from 0. We get to the top. Man, this is going to be wild, friends. Even Ivan is capitulating. So there you go. You now know in a nutshell, friends. We're waiting for December 6th. That is the last day of the voting thing. So if he accepts, I got a feeling he's going to accept. So I initially thought he's going to reject, but I was assuming a higher price. So I thought maybe, because I didn't know him, I thought maybe he rejects one of them, but maybe pDAI is 30 cents. You never know, okay? But if he accepts, because he hasn't done anything counter to the narrative, okay? But he kind of did. He sold 5555 pDAI, which is worth like, dollars. He just sold it, okay? And people got skitzed. So just showing you, like, there are some things that the market interprets as like, a bit bearish and stuff here. Now, if you believe in coincidences, you're not going to like this. For everyone else, I mean, there are no coincidences. Look, there's still people in my Telegram. Come to my Telegram if you want, friends. Free to join. Remember, if you join my announcements, click on the comments button, and then you join the discussion room, okay? So, pDAI from the bottom. Look at this, friends. I posted it in June, okay? pDAI from the bottom is 55555x to $1, okay? pDAI from the bottom. Posted this in June. Look at the price here, man. It was half a cent, whatever it is, okay? So, do you think that's a coincidence? I'm telling you, no, it's not. Richard has also bragged about the return from the bottom. A coin that's up 5,000x already. He kept talking about 5,000x from the bottom. That was at 0.07 cents, okay? When it hit 1.4 cents, that was 10,000x. I spammed it out there. pDAI is now up 10,000x to Richard Hart number. Okay, so just letting you know. At $1. So look at his 4 tweets here. He tweeted about pDAI. You can just see all of them. 5,000x, 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 504,000, 190%. See me for 5,000x. Okay, so I can just sniff it, friends. I can see him making a tweet saying, hey, Ethereum, there is a free airdrop copy that you might own that did 5,555, 5555x from the bottom. And then it's basically, friends, like letting everyone know, I wonder if the other tokens too can do that. And also, friends, remember with HEX, the bottom of HEX, friends, was 4055. Okay, and then it did a 10,000x on the dot. 55, and it went to 55 cents. Okay, traded 55 cents. So only believers are going to make it. See this? Come on, bro. I'm just saying, friends, it's him. It's him. Okay? But yeah, I still a lot of people need to see more evidence. That's why, friends, now do you kind of see? See, we're the schizophrenics. We're like, like we're the schizophrenics, and there's even more schizo people we were talking about like ages ago. Okay, But then as Richard does more actions to show them, it's now you're no longer like a schizo. Now you're like, friends, that's why I'm telling you, the schizo part, it's no longer schizo. We're 2.4 cents, bro. Like you gotta have an opinion on it now. You know what I mean? Like we're now, like if we're at 10 cents, or like, hey, do you think there's just a 10% chance that it's gone to $1 now? You think what are the odds you think it's gone to $1? People say, oh, maybe 50-50. Okay, so you think pDAI should be 50 cents now, which means you still think there's a 5x left in the move. That's what happens now. Okay, people aren't going to be saying whether it's going to happen or not. They're going to be saying, oh, Richard's moves. The next debate, I've been saying, friends, the next debate will be if he's going to do it with Ethereum's price this low. Okay, because even in, say, if you go to look into rh.com, you have Richard Hartsting, it's still down 5%, okay? It's down, it's at 3,770, the price. So that's why, like, do we need Ethereum 7,000 to do it, 10,000? Of course, other people will say, oh, you can come and back it out here and maybe the bridge will happen. That's what the speculation is, so we'll see. But also, just to confirm for you, if you wake up and you see an eDAI and a pDAI farm, if you see any pDAI farm, you know, oh, okay, it's gone. That's his plan. Any pDAI farm, all right? There are no pDAI farms yet. Okay? There's nothing yet. So, but I'm just letting you know. You wake up one day, everything's done that. That's because there's a pDAI farm. But I'm sure Richard knows that. Maybe he's like, no, that's too obvious. Friends, I think, look, he learned from 2023. We saw whenever he made a farm, like pPeppy, and the other Peppy, and what happened was it got short-term traders in. Okay? Richard learned. It was just short-term traders in. So maybe he learns, he goes, oh, I don't want to put the pDAI farm then. I'll put the pDAI farm at the end, so these short-term traders have to buy it at like, I don't know, 95 cents, and they can get their little 5% move on it, whatever. That's why I'm feeling something like that, okay? So, like, he wants to reward believers. If you wait for a farm and then they all ape in, you're not a believer, okay? So it's just, it does run consistent with his principles. Now, final thing, friends. Remember, there is a Bitcoin strategic reserve coming. This is my Bitcoin monthly box. You see this box, friends? This big fat box. We can top out anywhere here. Okay, top out anywhere here. Now, the Bitcoin strategic reserve. Some people, they really want to know about these like top signal stuff. And I said, man, in a bull market, there are just endless top signals, dude. There are endless top signals. That's why you got to look for the exotic ones. We don't even know what the exotic ones are. It's like, you don't know what you're looking for. You're trying to find the wild Pokemon, but you don't even have your Pokedex. You don't know what you're looking for, okay? So, something that could occur, I'm just showing you how these things work, okay? We now have the Bitcoin strategic reserve announcement from Donald Trump. He goes, I will buy Bitcoin, put on the balance sheet. Okay, sweet. Maybe it takes a while to draw the bill up. Maybe it takes like 6 months. Yeah? They've finally written it up. Then it passes. Yes? Then maybe they like do their first purchase at the top. That's maybe how it works out. Because like what you're trying to do is there's always a 50-50 case, okay? There's a case where you're like, wait, Bitcoin, the government's buying, that's pushing up the price. But then also we're saying, no, but we've known about the government buying for a long time. You see? So that's 50-50. That's how these things work. It is 50-50 all the time. It's all about your interpretation. So I just personally believe, just guessing, when they come, let's say they are buying at the top. Let's say really is Bitcoin 250K, okay? They do their first purchase to add on the balance sheet. What if, just think about this, that's 250K price. What if it's only 150? Right? What if Bitcoin's only 150 and we've run to the end of next year? Okay? I know, friends, you just have to imagine these, okay? Imagine it's 150 here. Could you imagine a scenario where people say, hey, the government just started buying, the bull market still has legs. It can't be over. You can imagine that. Because they'll say, hey, we're not even 200K yet. We've been talking about 200K forever. It can't be over yet. You see how that trap forms? But I also do think we'll be having an easy cycle. But I think if this scenario happened, friends, where it's only 150K, I'm sure I'd be saying, bro, 30 meme coins went to like 30 billion valuation, 10 billion valuation. Stupid numbers, okay? Everything's pumping. Litecoin pumped. Cardano pumped. XRP pumped. Okay, everything in the freaking industry pumped. We had a double bubble old season wave. All our dreams got met in terms of numbers. Now you're telling me Bitcoin still has to go further. Like, I hope we're having that conversation. I feel like we're going to have that conversation. You know what I mean? And everyone will still want more. Because they're like, oh, but it can't be over yet because Bitcoin. I'm like, but we had the double bubble old season. It just, okay, you want higher numbers, but like, that's not up to me or you, dude. The market just, it went to the market. So I'm still trying to keep us like firm, feet planted on the ground, very, very pointy knees, pointy elbows, straight posture. That's the only way to make a fence because, look, you are not going to walk into the selling zone thinking it's time to sell. No one does. The news gets better. The news gets better, friends. It gets better and better and better and better, and then that's the new normal, okay? The best news is at the top. Remember, man, what was at the bottom? The guy on Joe Rogan saying negative prices for Bitcoin. Okay. Maybe the top is a guy comes back on Joe Rogan. He goes, you know what, dude? Bitcoin's going up forever. It's going to go up forever and ever. Infinite prices. I want him to just yell and spit on Joe from across the table because he's like, he's a sprayer, not a sayer. Infinite price. I just want to see that. And I want us to be looking at, okay, we know what comes next, friends. God help us all. Like, subscribe, belly button, all. Catch you soon.